Well, for many, many people, the darkness that shrouds them, that makes it difficult to see, that makes it difficult to stay on course, that darkness is a love of money, right? A love of money. Unable to see clearly, they miss the trail signs and they find themselves drifting further and further off course. In Luke chapter 12, Jesus is teaching when he is interrupted by a man who is walking on the trail to nowhere. Luke chapter 12, starting in verse 13. As Jesus is teaching, it says, "Someone from the crowd called, 'Teacher, please tell my brother to divide our father's estate with me.' Jesus replied, 'Friend, who made me a judge over you to decide such things as this? What am I, probate court?' Then he said, 'Beware, guard against all kinds of greed. Life is not measured by how much you own.'" So here is Jesus teaching about the things of God, telling people about the kingdom. People are crowding around. They're hearing wisdom from the Messiah's voice. Maybe they'll even see a miracle today. They're hanging on his every word, hoping to learn something about how to live, about how to love, about how to serve. And in the middle of the scene, this out-of-breath man kind of pushes through the crowd, elbows his way in, gets in front of Jesus, interrupts Jesus. He looks completely desperate. And he's unconcerned with the agenda of Jesus. He's unconcerned with the fact that the crowd is listening to Jesus. And he just interrupts with this urgent question. "Teacher, help me out. My brother and I are fighting over our father's inheritance." I've gotten old enough now to see that fighting over inheritance money is not anything too uncommon. It happens a lot. Again, money can cause us to get way off course. He says, "Tell my brother to divide the inheritance with me." He's not doing that. I deserve my share. Now, this guy is consumed with getting what he thinks he deserves. His father has passed away. Cry, cry, mourn, mourn. Now I want my money. I want my share of the cash. Nothing is going to get in his way. For this man, the journey to get his money has turned into an obsession. Nothing else matters. At this point in his life, food has no taste. Music does not inspire him to dance. The only thing that has his undivided attention is his quest to get his share. And Jesus, the Son of God, he hopes, this miracle worker from Nazareth, he hopes can force his brother's hand. Look, friend, Jesus basically says, I'm not the judge of a matter like this, but Jesus has this benefit of being able to see beyond the appearances, beyond the facades that we create, and see into the heart. And so Jesus sees right into this guy's heart, and he sees that the real issue isn't that he's being treated unfairly. This guy's real issue is that he is hiking down the wrong path. And as this master teacher, this master rabbi so often did, Jesus, he tells a story. Starting in verse 16. He told them this parable. The ground of a certain rich man produced a good crop. He thought to himself, "What should I do? I have no place to store my crops." Then he said, "This is what I'll do. I will tear down my barns and I will build bigger ones. There I will store all of my grain and my goods. And I'll say to myself, you have plenty of good things laid up for many years. Take life easy. Eat, drink, be merry." But God said to him, "You fool, This very night your life will be demanded from you. Then who will get what you have prepared for yourself? And then Jesus concludes and says, this is how it will be for anyone who stores up things for himself, but is not rich toward God. And so before we jump into this guy's mistakes, the fictional character in the parable, and the very real character who is standing before Jesus, before we get into these mistakes,